Hello, students. Let's continue with the next part of the report writing. So, in the last lecture, we have seen that how to give the title in the report writing, what title must contain, and how you have to add the names of the author. What is the order of adding names of the author? And after that, how you have to add the institution name, and what is the corresponding author. The corresponding author is always given with the star at the end of his or her name. So this is one example which we have seen just for the title writing. Now the next part of the report is abstract. Now abstract is actually the summary which is published together with the research article. So just if you want to read a particular paper on a particular topic, you don't need to go thoroughly with the paper. You just first read the abstract and you will be able to know that this particular paper is on what topic, what results they are getting, what they are saying, what is they're saying on this particular topic. That all idea you can just get with the abstract. So it is also called as you can say that it is a very short summary of whatever research you have done. So this is going to give a reader preview of what is there in the paper, which is this abstract. You can also say that it is a preview, a short preview. So this is used by potential readers to determine whether the particular paper is interested or not interested. He or she should go through it or not, in a sense whether that particular paper is related to what they're searching for or it is not related. So always whenever you are writing the abstract, it must be very clear, concise and complete in the sense at the end you must give that what is the conclusion, what is the summary of your results, and accordingly the other researchers, other scientists can be able to decide their work accordingly. So abstract should be of one paragraph, which could include maximum of 100 to 250 words, and it is it is actually the summary, and in that summary what it should summarize, that is the purpose of the research, methods which are done in a particular results, in particular research, then results and conclusion of that particular paper or the work. So it includes a statement of manipulations of the independent variable. So what manipulations you have done for the independent variables, and precise of the results of the research. So whatever values you have earned after doing a research, you can include it in, rather it is expected that you have to include those values in your result. So whatever result it is, if there is any value, then it do not include review of the literature. You are not going to give any review of the literature there, that what past work is done or any theoretical background. Nothing is required here actually. And you are going to leave all this with the introduction and discussion part, but you are not supposed to include it here. Now there is changed format with many new journals. There is a different style of abstract which is expected by the journals or few journals, that the way you should write. So we are going to discuss both the styles. This abstract is the abstract where all this abstract is actually of a review paper. So you can see it is having all the general information. So when a review paper abstract you are writing, you have to write a few general few general information, and after that you have to write the purpose why you want to write a review on a particular topic, what is the importance of that topic. That all should get included into the abstract. If not, then this particular part will be just your results. In 1 or 2 lines, you have to tell that the topic or what is your research topic on which you have worked. And after that, it has to give the results of your work. So whatever values or whatever results are there, that you have to give. And after that, in the last 2 lines, you have to summarize it or conclude it. So first 2 lines is just the importance of the research, then mainly majorly whatever results you got, and at the end conclusion in 2 lines, right? So this is the general style of the abstract. Now, as I said that the style has changed and few journals required writing their abstract in this way. If you are going to publish a research paper, for thesis, you are going to write in this way, that 2 lines of the importance of the research topic, after that whatever results of your work, and at the end conclusion. This is for your thesis paper and even for many research journals. But as I said that nowadays the uh, style had changed, and it has you have to include the background information. So some part of the introduction, a very less part, a very important part which is related to your research, that you can include it here. Then the results, which you can include it here. Then result part has to be there. Like here, they have worked on Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which is producing biosurfactant. Biosurfactant are such a chemicals which have ability to mix oil and water. So many in your medical formulations or ointments, you can see one word emulsifier. So that is what is this particular emulsifier or biosurfactant is. Biosurfactant is always a bioemulsifier. And here in this particular paper, a particular microorganism, as I'm from microbiology, so I'm giving the example of microbiology, and so all should understand. So I'm explaining what is the emulsifier and biosurfactant. Then this particular bioemulsifier or biosurfactant got produced by a particular organism which is named Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So that they have told in the result, that what they have investigated, then how many samples they have collected. So little bit 2 lines of the procedure also you need to add into the abstract. So first 2 lines with the your research area, then procedure, a very short method in 2 lines, then results in short, and then conclusion in short. So that will actually make the abstract of your thesis or many journals papers. Now in this, why I'm taken this example, that nowadays the background is also added into the abstract. Then you have to write whatever activity, whatever procedures they did, and what result they got in the result section, and then you have to write a conclusion. So everything is the same, except background will not be there in many research journal or in a thesis. And you have to give the keywords. Now what is keywords means? Keywords are those words, by just reading them, the author or you should, the reader should, or the other scientist, get idea that this particular paper is on what, and the work is done on what, one thing. And other, the most important part is that if you want to find out, suppose I'm working on biosurfactant, right, or working on an organism that is named Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So I have to just give this word Pseudomonas aeruginosa or biosurfactant or emulsification, and I will get the whole paper. Why? Because I have added these 5 or 6 keywords. So key, the name itself indicates that those important words of your research area, that you have to add in a form of keywords. So those can be 5 to 6. Even if you want to publish it into the journal, they give the limitation that you have to give 5 or 6 keywords. Generally 5 keywords are expected to be given. So in your thesis, you can give it from 5 to 7. Now the next part is introduction. Now, of course, if you're writing a thesis, at the center, you can write like abstract, at the center, you can write introduction. It is not mandatory that every time you have to write it at the center. You can even write it at the left hand end, the way which I have written on the slide in this way, right? It should be bold, and you have to decide the font size, whichever you feel better, but it should not be too bold, or it should not be too big, or it should not be too small that the way no one could able to read. Now, in case of introduction, it always begins with a new page, because it is when you are writing a research report, you have to start with a new page, because on one page you will write a title, right? After that, on the same page, you can continue with the abstract. Now, there are, even in research reports or research publications, many journals also continue with the introduction on the same page. So it's not mandatory, but if you are writing a thesis paper, then it's better always that start the introduction on a new page, and you have to give the number. Many a times, to abstract and title page, numbers are not given. Numbering pattern will start from the introduction. Now, in introduction, you have to you can write this introduction, and on the top of introduction, on the same page, you can just give the title. Now here you don't need to add again all the authors and everything. No, just title of your work, then below that introduction, and start with the introduction. Now, what is expected in this introduction part? So following are the questions. If you answer those questions, that will help you to make a good introduction. Now, what is it? The first question is which you have to answer in your introduction, that is, what is the research about? So you have to explain the whole research work you have done on which, right? Then on what part you are more interested, or what is the background of the research, you can give it here. Then why it is relevant or important, then you have to write importance of the research. In the same, you have to write what are the issues or problems. So which problem you are going to focus, how many problems are there, and out of which, if there are number of problems, out of which, on which you are going to focus. Then what is your proposed solution or approach, how you are going to solve this particular problem, right? And then what can one expect in the rest of the research? So you can say in a 1 or 2 line, you can also explain that this whatever work we have done, we have got the result, because when you are going to write the report, you have done all the work, and at the end you are writing it, right? So you know what result you got. So in short, you can write that what is the work about, right? And what you can expect even in the future. So that also you can write in a very short line. So always this introduction will tell the reader that what the problem is, what question you will try to answer, why it is important. It might be important for practical reason, or for some theoretical reasons also, that is methodological reasons, and having to do with the development of the scholarly discipline, or some social discipline, or some social development. So never neglect either type of reason, whatever reason you have, right? Of for taking that particular problem, you have to state it into the introduction. Now, the introduction should lead up to and conclude with a statement of how to intend to approach your question, and why your approach is an improvement on the past report. Because whenever you are doing a research, at that time you are going to do something new. So it must give some either improvement on whatever solutions of that problem which are available, right? Some new solution, the better solution, and that, or if some improvement on whatever past efforts other scientists has did it before, right? So you have to here very strongly tell that why it is worth to undertake this particular research, because in the introduction only you are going to state all the importance of your research. Afterwards there is no point where you could give or state the importance, right? So this is essentially what is new about your approach. So whatever approaches are available before, and what is the new thing you're going to uh, do it, or going to solve it here, that you have to state it very clearly. And what is your particular contribution, right? So what contribution you are going to, what is new, what new contribution you are going to give it, or do it in this particular type of research. Now if the problem is very basic one, you may state the problem first and then review that what has already been found about whatever research topic you have taken. Now if the problem is one that grows out of past literature, review the history of how it arose, right? So it depends on what type of your problem. Accordingly you have to write the background or literature of review. That mostly in introduction you have to write the many, it is many points, it will be similar to the literature review, because here also you are gathering the information from the past and you are writing it here. You are making a background of your problem, right? Because it is not necessary that whenever a reader is reading for a particular area, he or she knows everything about the topic, right? So it is necessary to give some background, and then state your problem, that this is the problem, and then you have to give the solution for that. So never forget to mention the basic issues behind the research tradition in question, the practical or theoretical concerns that inspire it. Always you have to give the research tradition in the question, right? How the research problem has developed, or how much till now the other scientist has tried to solve it. For example, sometimes there don't seem to be any. There are few research topics that nothing will be there. So it's fine. In that case, you have probably chosen the wrong topic. If this is happening, that nothing is there and no work is done now, see, this is research. There is no area left that no one did the work. One or another person must have done something in that, and you must state that person's work there. So if you are feeling, no, I know everything and this is first time I'm doing it, it is not the case. Then you have to cross check with your chosen topic. It might be wrong, right? So the introduction always should lead up to and conclude, as we said, that to the statement that how to intend to the approach your question, and why your approach is an improvement of the past efforts. That is the very important part. Or it might be like that, why it is worth of understanding it. That is also very important. Then you can think of introduction as a description of the psychological issue that you are going to investigate, right? Second, you can do the discussion of research questions or hypothesis that you are examining. And third, it might be a reference to other studies. It should be in the same area. Other studies means the area should be the same, which have results which bear on your research projects, where whatever they are in the same direction as your hypothesis, or in the opposite direction. So that you have to find it out. Now the final paragraph should include, so you have written all the background, and at the end you are writing the final paragraph. So the final paragraph should include a more specific definition of your variables. So here you have to very specifically mention your variables, whatever, whether it is a dependent variable or independent variable. Both variables you have to define or specify it here very clearly, and a clear statement of the predictions based on the background information that you have presented. Here you have to give everything very clearly. Now the related work section, which is sometimes also called as I said, it is the literature review, which is very much related to that. But in literature review, you write it's too long, you write in a lot of details. Here you are going to some very important part of the literature review. So the related work section is just that, a review of work, as we have already stated, related to the problem, and you are attempting a problem that you are attempting to solve it. So it should identify and evaluate past approaches to the problem. It is very, very important. And it should also identify similar solutions to yours that have been applied to other problems, not necessarily directly related to the one on which you are trying to solve that your solution, but it may be indirectly related. So you have to consider all of them, and reviewing the successes or limitations of your proposed solution in other context provide important understanding that should result in avoiding past mistakes. So when you are doing or comparing it in this way, definitely it will give you an idea. It will avoid the past mistakes. You can take the advantages of the previous success, and most importantly, potentially you can improve your solution or technique in general when applied in your contests and others. So you can find out that what others did and what you are doing, so how better your solution is, right? So in addition to the obvious purpose indicated, the related work section also can be added with or can serve to justify that the problem exists by example and argument, right? Then it should motivate interest in your work by demonstrating relevance and importance. Identify the important issues. It should identify the important issues, and it provide background to your solution. So any remaining doubt over the existence, justification, motivation, or relevance of your research topic or a problem, at the end of the introduction, you should be, or it should be, you should be cleared it, or it should be gone by the end of your this particular session. So it should be the researcher or the reader, both researcher must be clear it in such a way that reader should not have any doubt regarding whatever your work you are going to do. Now here you have to note that literature review is just that, a review. Review means whatever others have done the work that you are stating, you have done nothing there, right? It is not a list of papers. It is not actually, it is not like that, that you have to just he said this and exactly same sentences you are putting, that whatever he said in his research paper he said, take the title and paste it. No, 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 no. You have to actually expect it in literature review that read the whole paper, summarize it, and write the summary in your own word. So it is not at all a list of papers and description of their contents. Never. A literature review should critical. Actually, you should criticize. You should have your own opinion, right? So it should be critic, then it should be categorized thing, it should be evaluative type, and it should summarize the work, right? Related to your research. So whenever you are going to write, even you need to write a literature review. After this, actually, there is a literature review. Second topic must be the literature review. So I'm actually talking about the literature review now. So in literature review, so first your topic will be introduction, and after that you're going to write the literature review. I have not made the slide for it. It's just the short part. So in the literature review, as I said, you are not going to make the list of the papers, but you're going, or you're going not going to exactly describe the same content what they said. You have to read, you have to critically go through it, you have to critic in a sense. Maybe they have shown this, different papers are having different results. So in that case, you have to go through all of them and find out what results they have, and you can criticize it, you can categorize it, you can evaluate it, and then you have to summarize the work which is related to the same. So here only I will write actually about the literature review, which is the next part. And I haven't made any separate PPT for it, but no need also. So as you got it very clearly that it is not the list of references and description of the other works. It is actually the evaluation of the other person's work on your research topic and written in your own words. This is very important, because whenever review writing or literature review writing is there, generally copy pasting is done there. That is wrong thing. You cannot do copy pasting there, because plagiarism is there, and we are going to see in the next sections that what plagiarism is. Then related work is also not a brain dump of everything you know in the field. It need to get organized in a proper way. So you're not writing a textbook. In textbook you can write it. There are different types of reports, even research paper writing. So mostly writing a research paper and writing a thesis of a PhD is near about the same. Not much not much differences are there. Little bit differences are there, but the maximum part, the main body part, that is the title, abstract, introduction, material and methods, literature review, and result and discussion part will always remain the same. So you are not writing a textbook, right? So here, whenever you need, because writing a textbook is again a different part, you need to write in a different way. In the textbook, you can start from the history of that particular topic, but in literature review, it is not needed, right? So here, only include information which is directly related to your topic. There might be 1,000 papers, right? Then nowadays this problem is there, because there are n number of papers. Then always there is a question that I want to write a review, but from where I have to start? Shall I start from 1950? No need to do that. But there are few papers, especially in our case, a particular method which is developed by, for example, Pauling-Laurie method, which is still used for the estimation of protein, and which is discovered in 1953 by these two scientists. You have to use them exactly in that way. So you can use in those case. Sorry, some problem is there. Let me share the scheme again. So just a minute. Sorry for interruption. Okay, so we were at abstract, right? Then introduction, and especially on literature review. We are going to stop soon, but I just want to complete this point. So here you are going to only write about your related topic, right? Whatever problem, related topic or problem or solution, you should review only those points that are relevant to the arguments you will make. So only those points you have to add there. Do not say that X found this or Y demonstrated this. If X conclusion don't follow from X result, if that is not matching, you can use words like you can use words like exclaims to show that why, or suggest that when you are not sure, you should not go with this, right? So if you see a flaw in a particular paper, you can add however. That however word is very important. Try to avoid the expression like unfortunately they couldn't get the result. No, however, the another person got another result. However, or you don't write that unfortunately Smith and Jones neglected to examine something like that. You are not the one who is going to give some judgment, or they are giving the exam and you are the examiner. You are not expected to write it in this way in literature review. So it might have been unfortunate for them or for the field, but of course it is not good for the field or even for them, but you cannot write it in this way. But it is, but if you see the other side, that it is fortunate for you. Why? Because now everyone knows it, right? So just avoid such words whenever you are writing the literature reviews, right? So we will stop here, and then we will go to the material and methods. Even the some part of the literature review we will continue in the next lecture. Thank you.